Alright, basic hydroponics setup here. 10-gallon roughneck tote. I'm going to do 6 net pots here. And what we are going to attempt to do is put Bareroot strawberries in and see if we can't root them in and start them growing in this system. Right now it is empty. Alright, so let's get started. Okay, I have Bareroot here, Seascape strawberries. I've got my garbage bowl here. These are the extras that I have from the soil growth. So what I'm going to do is prune off some of this old dead foliage in here. That's my daughter in the background. Say hi. Hi. And we are going to trim up the roots as well, okay? So this is going to be a good thing, especially to get us going with hydroponics. So let's do that. Boom, 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 boom. And what that's going to leave us with here is just the crown, okay? And we want this to stay above the water line, obviously, because we do not want this to get saturated, because then it'll develop some type of rot. The crowns do not like to be wet, so this will leave us just enough rootage to get started in the nutrient, and hopefully we can expect some good growth. So let's start feeding the roots through the net pots, okay? And that's what we really want to do here, is get these good and rooted in. So let's start this up, get these through like this, and kind of start pulling. And then what we're going to do is fill in this annular space here with some of these Grodan pellets, okay? So let me do that. Okay, you see what we got going on here? We've got this good and filled up with this Grodan here. The crown is still above the top and the roots are coming out. So what we can now do is set this in here and prepare the next 5 of them.
I want to do one.
You want to do one? Mm-hmm. Cool. And my daughter's going to do the rest. Okay, the basic setup should look like this at the end. Just the crown sticking up. Now, next thing we need to do, obviously, is provide it with some oxygen, some nutrient, and some light. So let's get going on that. Alright, what I have here again is that 10-gallon roughneck tote. About 8 gallons are filled up because I need this space, okay? Otherwise, I'm just going to drown the roots. I just want the roots barely touching the water so that they can learn to grow down into it. What I have in here is its pH down to about a 6.0, as well as some mild hydroponic nutrient. What do I mean by that? Fox Farms Grow Big for 8 gallons, 2 teaspoons, 10 milliliters. That is next to nothing. These plants do not need a full dose of hydroponic nutrient. In fact, it'll just burn them up. So we want next to nothing in this. Let them grow out, and then we'll do some nutrient changes in a couple of weeks type of thing if we are seeing some success. Okay guys, this is how the final setup's going to look. It's just going to run like this. I've got the hose run through to an air stone inside of here. The roots, like I mentioned before, are just barely getting into the water type of thing. Alright, and I want to encourage them to grow down into the nutrient type of thing. These are going to sit under T5s up here for about 12 to 14 hours a day until they are good and established. I don't know if this is going to work. We'll find out. This is going to be a good test to see if we can start Bareroot strawberries in hydroponics, because I think this is a good method as opposed to going and buying from a nursery type of thing and then rinsing off the roots from all the dirt and the soil and things like that and then feeding them through. This is a much cleaner method, and in fact it's a much cheaper method because this is less than $1 per plant here. Okay, so let's come back in about a week and see if we are getting any kind of movement on these things. Okay guys, we are exactly 14 days from transplant, 2 weeks later, and we have some fantastic growth going on. This is absolutely perfect. So I'm really digging the idea of starting out Bareroot strawberries in hydroponics. Now I even have some flowering going on, but I'm going to be tearing those off because I am encouraging bigger plants here so that we can get bigger harvests coming in a month or so. So check this out. This is the most important piece of the puzzle right here, is getting the roots to grow down into the nutrient. You can see the old brown roots, okay, from last year's grow, and then you have those nice new white roots growing down into the nutrient solution. This is perfect. And remember, we started this solution out with next to no nutrient, and I just did another nutrient replacement right now about 15 minutes ago, and I put in the same concentrations, okay, because as you can see with this particular growth right here, there's no deficiencies going on. So about 8 gallons in this tote right here. It's a 10-gallon tote. I put in about 2 teaspoons of Fox Farm Grow Big, okay, and really there's nothing more that these plants require at this time. They're sitting underneath these T5s right here for about 14 hours a day, and so I'm really liking the progress of this. Now, why do people grow hydroponics? What can you expect? What's one of the benefits? Well, faster growth. Check this out. That is the soil grown strawberry that I planted at the exact same time. Well, I'll take that back. This actually had a 1-day head start on this. So look at the difference of leaf structure, growth, things of that nature between soil and hydroponics. You can expect 20 to 30% difference in terms of growth rate with hydroponics versus soil grown. So this is really cool. Got a really good start this year on the Seascape strawberries. So as always, guys, thanks for checking me out. Like, subscribe, comment, and I will talk to you later. Peace!